Most men have never even heard of the A-spot, but once you know where it is and how to stimulate it, you can satisfy your partner in ways she has never felt before. This is basically a cheat code for pleasure, and it's actually scientifically proven. A 1997 study found that stimulating the A-spot quickly produced more vaginal wetness, increased arousal, and made it easier for women to reach orgasm, with 15% of women in the study reaching orgasm almost immediately following A-spot stimulation. But before we get into the techniques, you need to know exactly where to find it. The A-spot is short for the anterior fornix erogenous zone, and it is a very real and distinct spot inside the vagina. So if you're using your finger, your palm will be facing up, and you'll be touching the front wall or the top wall with just the pad of your finger. The easiest way to first find it is to first locate the G-spot. The G-spot is a spongy patch about 1.5 to 2 inches inside the vagina. Once you find that, move just about an inch deeper along the same wall. The texture will usually feel smoother and the vagina will begin to curve upward. Just be careful not to go too far. If you continue deeper, you may hit the cervix, which can be very sensitive and even painful for some women. Now, in order to make sure you know you're in the right place and don't potentially hurt your partner, you need to stimulate her with this first technique right here. The first way we're going to stimulate the A-spot is very cautious and gentle because it's likely your partner has never felt this feeling before. I recommend using one finger, preferably your middle finger, because it's usually the longest and it's also one of the strongest, which will be very important later on. Once you locate the A-spot, you're going to use a very gentle stroking motion with just the pad of your finger. Think of it almost like a feather-light touch. Slowly stroking back toward yourself, then lift them, finger, and return to the top and repeat. You're not moving up and down repeatedly, just a slow stroke from top to bottom. Very controlled, very teasing. And while you're doing this, check in with your partner. Ask her how it feels, because this sensation is often very new, and you want to make sure you're in the right place and that she's comfortable. If she is loving it, then you can move on to this next technique right here. Next, you can start adding a little bit more pressure, and instead of moving from top to bottom, switch to more of a side-to-side motion. But you're not moving your finger all the way across like a windshield wiper. It's not about covering a lot of ground. Instead, keep your finger fixed on the A-spot and gently wiggle from side to side. This creates a concentrated vibration right on that sensitive area. And because most women can't easily reach their A-spot themselves, she may be experiencing pleasure she has never felt before. As you keep that motion very concentrated and controlled, the sensation grows and becomes more intense. But if you really want to take this to the next level and support your partner in having one of the best orgasms of her life, you need to use this final technique right here. This time, we're going to add even more pressure onto the A-spot and use a technique that I call anchoring in. Again, use the pad of your middle finger and lock it directly onto the A-spot, and your finger stays anchored in one place, very secure and stable. And instead of stroking like this, you apply consistent rhythmic pressure, almost like you are pulling the orgasm out of your partner. But with all of these techniques, consistency is the key. Don't speed up because she's getting close. Don't change the motion, just maintain the same pressure and the same rhythm. This is by far the most effective technique that I've found. But if you want to take this to the next level, try this. One of the most important findings from that 1997 study was that the A-spot stimulation not only created intense pleasure, it also made it easier for women to reach orgasm from other types of stimulation. So while you're anchoring in on the A-spot, start stimulating her clitoris at the same time with your tongue. This can result in what's known as a blended orgasm, and it's possible she will experience pleasure that she has never felt before. Now, this sets you up for everything before penetration. But if you want to last longer during sex, watch this video right here so you can learn how to stay in control and last as long as you want.